Hello, everybody, and welcome back to STEAM with MPL. My name is Miss Haley, and I'm so happy to see you guys today. You might have already seen that we are doing some construction today, but before we begin, I want to give everyone a special round of applause who participated last week in our What If Animals. It was a lot of fun to do it, and we got a lot of really cool pictures out of it. I just want to take a minute to say congratulations, especially to our winners from last week. We have Elise, Melanie, Emma, and Nye. Congratulations, guys. And if you haven't already, stop by the Youth Desk to come pick up your prize, okay? So, with that, we can begin our project today. So, we are doing Rapunzel's Tower. And you might already know some of the story of Rapunzel. We have a ton of books about it at the library. So, I'll just summarize it because I don't have time to read the whole book to you today, but be sure to check these out. We'll have them on display all week. So basically, Rapunzel's a beautiful girl, and she has long hair, but an evil woman keeps her trapped in a tower. But then one day, a prince finds her tower, and she decides, she's going to meet the prince, she's going to hang out with the prince. But then her evil woman that keeps her in the tower finds out, and she cuts off all of Rapunzel's beautiful hair. Oh, it's so unfortunate, but it's okay. She still has love for her prince, and so she escapes, and her prince live happily ever after. But here's the thing: in this version of the story, which is especially the one that I like, the way that she escapes the tower is that her tower magically disintegrates, and because her tower is no longer built, we have to build her a new one so she has a place to live. So that's our job today, and that's what we're doing. You might already have your grab and go bag, and you can see that we're doing it with spaghetti and marshmallows, so it's a little tricky. But you guys can start making your towers now and trying some things out, but I'm going to explain to you my process in making my tower. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I learned a whole bunch, and then my tower got a lot better as I learned more stuff. So the first thing I did was look at this book. It's called Engineering Design at Work. And it was really helpful because it had a 7-step process so that we can start engineering. So as you can see, I already cheated. I have step 1 out already, and that is to define the problem. So our problem is that Rapunzel doesn't have a house anymore. She needs a new tower. So that's our problem that we're going to solve today, guys. Then we move on to step 2. And this uses kind of big words, so I'll try to explain everything that I can, okay? So step 2 is investigating the requirements. And when we talk about this, they use criteria and constrictions. So criteria are things that we have to do. So for us, that means that we have to make it tall and we have to make it safe. And the constrictions are things like how much time you have to build or how much money you can spend. For us, it's that we're using our stuff from our grab and go bags. And of course, you can use extra stuff at home if you ask an adult. But that's our limitations for today. Then we can move on to step 3. And step 3 says develop and compare solutions. This is basically a fancy way of saying we're going to brainstorm, guys. We have to put our thinking caps on. I have my engineering cap on today. And we have to think about what tall buildings look like. So maybe we can borrow some of their shapes and then use them in our own towers today. So when I was thinking, the building that I thought of was the Eiffel Tower. Uh-oh, he's upside down. Helps if he's right side up. So I was thinking, okay, that's pretty tall. And if you guys know any really tall buildings, you can comment them, and then Miss Susie can read them to me so we know what kind of tall buildings you guys are thinking about. Maybe your house is tall. I think that, the lighthouse outside of Manitowoc is pretty tall. Maybe you've been to a tall church. So these are cool things that we can think about, and we can think about what kind of shapes they are so that we can borrow them when we make our own tower. Then we can move on to step 4, and that's creating. You guys might have already started doing this. You're just using your marshmallows and your spaghetti sticks. You stick a marshmallow on the end and spaghetti sticks together, and ta-da, you have a joint so that you can stick them together. So as you can see, I have my first house here. it's not, I don't say a tower because it's a little short, but I mean, Rapunzel could live in it. It's not the perfect house, but I think it's pretty good. So I based that one on a house. But then I moved to step 5, which is test and fix. So, I mean, I think it met our criteria of being tall and safe. It didn't totally fall down. It's sort of tall, but I think we can do a little better. So that moves on to step 6, which is optimize. And optimize is a big fancy word for how can you make it better? How can you make it perfect? So what I did is I went back and I looked at some more books because here at the library we have all kinds of stuff about engineering. So I looked at this book that's actually about bridges, but I was just looking at it for the shapes. And you can see that all of these bridges, they use all kinds of triangles in them. And that got me thinking. I was like, okay, well, maybe triangles, they have those on the Eiffel Tower, which is what I was thinking in the first place. So maybe we'll think about triangles. And then I found this next book, which is about bridges and tunnels, which even said triangles are a really strong shape for building. And engineers use them all the time because the two sides lock in the other one to make sure it's really, really secure. So I can even show you this, you guys. So here I have a square that I made out of popsicle sticks. And if I hold one corner and push on the other corner, you can see that it wiggles. That's not super great. You don't want your house to wiggle. But I have this triangle, and if I hold the triangle on the corner and push with all my might on the other corners, it doesn't wiggle at all. And that's crazy. I didn't know that until I learned it while building today. So I hope that helps you when you guys build. Then for the big reveal, you guys, I got to make a super tall tower with my triangles. I'm so happy about it. So as you can see, I made a triangle base, and then I have a bunch of triangles all around it, so it's locking everything in super secure. And I even have my Rapunzel on top. When I tested it, she looks pretty happy. She looks pretty tall. And I bet your guys have some really awesome Rapunzel towers at home already being built. I'm really excited to see them. Again, before we end our program, I do want to say, send those to MPL Youth at manitowoc.org. I really want to see them. They're going to be super cool, and I'm excited to see how tall you can make them. So yeah, that ties into our last step, which is share. So I got to learn all this information from books. And so the books shared the knowledge with me, and then I got to share it with you, and now you can share it back to me at nplyouth at manitowoc.org. I'm super excited to see all of them. Plus, then you get a chance to win a prize. And then at the end, all of our winners go into a raffle to get an extra prize, a free book at the end of the summer. So I'm really excited. I hope you guys learned a lot today. I know I did for sure, and I'm definitely excited that we got to do some construction today. And I hope you guys have a really great rest of your day, you guys. Yeah, so before we end, I do want to let you know that be sure to pick up your grab and go bag for next week. We're doing Morse code bracelets. So we're putting a special secret message into a bracelet that we can wear. And then when I see you at the library, I can say, oh, I know your secret. It'll be super exciting, you guys. So be sure to grab your grab and go bags. They're already available, and that's next week, Monday at 4 p.m. again. Thank you so much for being with me, guys, and have a great rest of your day.